Is that much money? Like, again, imagine it. Picture it. You don't play. Like, you and I would rather bet $15 on a football game, which is stupid, but yes. I never. I do have some thoughts in the lottery.
It's kind of like your morning sports wake-up call.
I can't buy into this. Oh, it's
because these guys.
But then I see someone.
Because these guys, ever since these guys, Jeffrey Walker, Sports and Dive fan, these guys have set the table for guys like from Hockey Central Noon, Tim Sid, and when I listened to ESPN's First Take,
cigarettes.
You guys just
yes. I see like a normal person, they're picturing the paper, and oh, hey, they win, $20 million, lost 649. And sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, I can't win if I don't play. That's like, the slogan, right? And I should be buying a ticket once in a while, because you never know. And the other one is, okay, so this person wins, here's my theory, that person wins $564 million, right? Which is, it's a ridiculous amount. You're getting a lump sum of around $283 before. Thanks, Uncle Sam. That's just one giant check with 9 digits. Start with 283. If I'm the lottery company, rather than give one person $564 million, I'm awarding $564 million prizes. Like, change 500 people's lives. Yeah, with $1 million. And think of the amount of more lottery tickets people will buy because everyone will know somebody that won. I can't remember the guy's name, and I don't think it might have been Too Tall Jones. There's a former Dallas Cowboy from the 1970s, and he won like let's say it's $40 million in a lottery. And here's what he did. You know how you send out Christmas cards, you send out gift cards. He sent out basically a $10,000 check to everybody in his life that mattered to him, and he said, you're a large part of why I am who I am and how I got to where. Okay, but the bottom line is, like, don't ask me for, this is it. Like, you because you would assume at $40 million, how many people are going to come to you, Andrew Walker, with investment ideas? How many people are going to want you to buy, they're going to be like, hey, I heard you and Brady talking about buying an OHL team. Yes, maybe, who knows? With $40 million, I would do that. But think about the amount of people that are coming out of the woodwork that you haven't heard from, that you don't want to hear from. You'd have to decide who's your friends. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's I know people are going crazy going, so you would rather have 40, you're going to have that with 40 million. That's not true. That's the dumbest thing you've ever said. That you'd rather have 40 million than 286 with a lump sum. 647, let's do best and worst.
Best.
Marion Hossa.
And worst.
Sean Marion.
With Brady and Walker.
Or Matrix. He does have, I would submit this. I would think that if Marion Hossa went out into a court and shot some jumpers, he'd have a prettier rolling stroke than Sean Marion. There is still Sean Marion is a leading contender for that guy still in the league award. There's a lot of them right now. Yeah. Kenyon Martin, even Drew Gooden last night. I'm watching him going, that looks like it is Drew Gooden. I watched him play at Kansas, and he was on a lot of those Cavs playoff teams and the New Jersey Nets. So best win, worst loss, best player, worst player. Well, I don't want we gave the Sharks worst loss the other night for Calgary, and they didn't lose last night, but they got a point. So let's give best win to their opponent last night, the Washington Capitals. They went and got it on the road, down 3-2 going into the third period. Jay Beagle tied it. John Carlson, American hero, American sniper, gave them the lead. And then Joe Thornton tied the game. Not his fourth goal of the game, but it was San Jose's fourth, so he didn't pull his pants down. I feel like Joel Ward has 28 overtime winners. Playoffs, for 5 or 6. But the Caps won in overtime 5-4. Now the Caps have 68 points, 3 points behind the Leafs opponent tonight, the New York Islanders. What do you think of this Caps team? They missed the playoffs last year. They barely made it in the year before. They barely made it in with Dale Hunter the year before that and happened to beat the defending Stanley Cup champs, the Bruins. Are you more optimistic? Yes. Are we back to Bruce Boudreau, President's Trophy type optimism? We're not there, are we? But and Holtby's as good a goalie going in as they've had in a long time. Yeah, I think I like where Holtby's at. I love where Ovechkin's at. I think they have a lot of players playing really well. And some new players that are rounding into the court. I think Washington is as dangerous. Like, they're like the Rangers last season. And the Rangers this season are kind of like the Rangers last season. I think if the Caps get the Red Wings, or get Tampa, and maybe even Montreal, they're going to be a tricky out for any of those Atlantic teams that people are raving about right now. I could see, and people say, hey, you like everybody sometimes, but I could see the Lightning, the Habs, the Capitals, or the Rangers. Any one of those teams in the Stanley Cup Final. I can really see it. So I'll take worst loss last night. This is good news for the Raptors. I don't know if they can catch the Atlanta Hawks. They're 6.5 games back. But they got a favor last night. So they're heading into the All-Star break. Raptors win, and the Hawks win 89-88 in Boston. Now, this game,
first time
the
the
Raptors lost this game because the Hawks had this one well in control. They were up 15 points at the break. They were up 11 heading into the fourth quarter. And the Celtics come all the way back and knock off Atlanta. Like, they had won 19 in a row. And since that, they're 500. Boston wins it with 0.2 left on the clock, 89-88. So the Hawks, they're going to fall off. Like, they're not winning at 19 in a row again. Will they fall off enough that the Raptors can get back into this conversation for the #1 seed? It's not the strangest thing that's ever happened.
Best player featured in Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey last night, but a losing effort for the Blackhawks. They did get a point, mostly thanks to Marian Hossa's 2 third-period goals. Hossa tied the game very late. The Sedins combined on the overtime winner. I always feel like, are we saying Hossa is so underappreciated, he's becoming properly appreciated? Because you think it, I think it. This is a Hall of Fame player. His consistency going from, like, you know how you bounce around a little bit and you just don't do well at a certain stop? That's never been the case for Marian Hossa. There's nowhere he's gone where I'd make the argument somehow he's disappointed. And then when he finally landed with the Blackhawks and won the Cup and signed the big-time contract, nobody bitches about Marian Hossa's contract. It might be unwieldy in the next 3 years. It's got another 4 or so to go. This is one of those really long, I think he probably gets $1.5 million when he's 42. Maybe he won't even see the end of it. Yeah, what an awesome career he's had.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
So, yeah, maybe he is still underrated. Worst player, I'll give it to, how about Chris Bosh, former Raptors, Miami Heat. So, I mean, he gets 15 points last night. Only 2 rebounds in 36 minutes, but he needs more than that. But he was minus 26 in his points, differential, plus minus, if you will, as the Heat get pounded by Cleveland, 113-93. Miami's in the playoffs in the East, but now barely. Like, they're hanging on by a half game right now. They might not make the big dance.
Might not.
No. And what does that say about, I mean, I know they lose LeBron, but what does that say about Chris Bosh?
And I'll tell you what else it says is the coach doesn't matter in the NBA. It really doesn't. I mean, Eric Spoelstra won 2 times. You take his talent away. Take Tim Duncan away from Greg Popovich. Does he have 100 wins? No, he doesn't. I mean, it matters. You got to keep egos together, and guys have to march to the same drummer. Yes, but I think there's a lot of